good evening, everyone. So today we're going to talk about uh, API tests, but today we'll focus on manual testing. For you to be able to test API, there are two ways actually. You can do manual testing of the API, and you can also do automation as well. For manual testing, you can use different tools. Actually, one of the tools that you can use is Postman, right? For the automation, you can maybe write your code without using Java or C#, whatever. So we're going for this particular series of lessons, we're going to talk about the manual ways of testing APIs. We're also going to talk about how to test it using automation. But next week, when we actually, we're going to talk about what exactly is an API, because some people may not know what an API. So just to say it in a layman language, actually, so it's an interface, right, for projects or applications. So for instance, let's say you are in a restaurant, right? You are waiting to be served, right? But you don't even know where the food is coming from. You just sit down, you pay, right? And a waiter will come and get your order. Then the next thing you know is like the waiter will serve you, right? But however, there are people in the kitchen that are actually preparing your food, and the waiter is only serving as an interface between the guys in the kitchen, the chef in the kitchen, and you, right? So at that particular time, the waiter is serving as an API, as an interface, where you send the waiter an error. So you are actually telling the waiter to say, can you please go and get me some food? I need this food. The waiter will ask you, what do you want? And you say, and this food should have this, that. You order based on that. Then the waiter will go and to the chef in the kitchen, oh, did you want this particular size of rice or whatever, with this stew, with this meat, with this fish and everything? You put everything. That is your request going out. Then after that, so the chef will say, okay, all right, we have everything. Or the chef will say, no, we don't. Then it comes with not to you that we don't have. Or the chef will say, okay, we have. Then give Deji what he wants. Then that's now you have the response coming in, right? So you have you are the one sitting right on the table, and you are sending your request through the waiter, which is the API. The waiter goes to the kitchen, right? Then prepares, tells the chef to prepare the food. If the food is ready, then the waiter brings the food for you. That is your response. So things that I've said right now, one of them is request, and one of them is response. You send a request and you get a response, right? So now the question is that how do I send the request and how do I get a response? So that is the purpose of the methods, right, in API. You can be rude to say, waiter, please get me my food, and get. Or you can be polite and say, please, can you get me a food? So now is the method now. There are different methods that you can send requests, and based on that method, that's what you're going to get. If you are rude to the waiter, you get a rude response. If you are nice, you get a nice response. Do you get it now? So that is what we are going to be talking about. Now, talking a bit technical now, let's come back to IT now. You have your, let's say, your card, right? You go to the ATM, right? The ATM is just there as an interface, right? To be honest, now, and the ATM has got the cash, but it cannot give you anything, right? Because once you put your card into the ATM and you punch your PIN number, right? The first thing you said, it goes to the server, right? Through an API, because it has to go to the server of that particular bank to say that, are you the right person? It validates you using your ID, right? Your which is your ATM now. It validates that your ATM card and also validates your PIN. If you are now authorized, you now say, okay, cool, this is Deji. And then it will come back with a response to say, good, that is Deji. And then you can do whatever you want. So then you also send a request to say, I want 50 pounds. Then the API goes and say, okay, Deji wants a 50 pound. That is a request gone. It's going to come back to say, Deji, you don't have 50 pounds in your account. Or to say, oh, Deji's got 50 pounds, release 50 pounds to Deji, right? And then after you release 50 pounds, then another request will go to say, I have released 50 pounds to Deji. Can you debit Deji's account with 50 pounds? Let's say it's 100 pounds there. So it's going to be, okay, 100 pounds minus 50, you got 50, then that's another request done. So that is another way to do that as well. So that is one. A quick example now, most of us will use emails as well. So, and you say, okay, I log into Yahoo, and okay, I logged into Yahoo now. So when you log into Yahoo, you want to send your emails actually. So it could also be an API as well. You authorize yourself to say, oh, Deji, blah, password, blah. When you send this, when you click on send, it actually send a request out. The same way also here as well, to be honest, maybe you can quickly do that. So now I just put I put Postman here, right? This in itself also could be another request actually. And I say Postman, then that is a request I want to send to Google server. And when I say enter, it goes into that Google server and brings something for me, right? So it brings all those pages and everything, so I can work with them. So that is a response coming from Google, right? So now let's quickly do this, right? Inspect for those guys. Let's see, hopefully it works anyway. So yeah, when you do this, you see all these particular jargons being displayed there. Basically, there are different code or different resources that are being sent out. But in all of them, there will be some that you might also want to be interested in. So for instance, this particular one. So this is a search and it's saying, okay, send Q is equal to Postman, right? So with that, it's actually saying send, yeah, that is a request. So as you can see, don't worry about this. This is just giving you overview of what you see. This is not, like I said, I spoke about the chef. Now I spoke about the ATM. Now it's now a bit technical now, but that's fine. So you got the request URL, right? This is that. And like, you know, in the chef now, I also mentioned the method that you use to send your request, right? So this is now a get method. Basically, a get method will tell you, go and get something for me, right? So now technically what you're saying is that go and get all the, go and get all the websites, right? And their details where it's related to Postman rather, right? So that is what this particular request would do, right? And then after that, some of it would respond, right? It's sometimes have response header anyway, but let's leave that for now. It will respond. Okay, so the same way you have response header, you also have request header, but let's leave that for now. It will kind of respond back with a response, right? So hold on, I think this is only got the header. Okay, yeah, sorry, is there. So it will respond with the header, right? So the payload is what you send actually. So yeah, so you get the response there. So response is there. It's not as like what you put in there, as you can see, it's different actually. So this is basically what Google is returning back actually. So in there, you would kind of get some, yeah, it's basically some information about what you are sending actually. So people also ask blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that is the response that you get from that particular request actually. So, and this is how it is actually. Let's go to this. I think this is also the same thing as well. So yeah, you get, and this is a bit neater actually. Yeah. So you get the request, and with this particular payload, as you can see, that's the payload postman. And then you have this response being sent out. I think that is fine. Yeah. So that's now. So now let's go back again. So let's search for API. Okay. So now when we search, oh, sorry, I can't spell API. So the same thing applies. Yeah. So this is my resources that I can look at. So, and looking at the header, right? So I think let's use this one. I think that way is simpler. So this is your URL, right? And the payload that is loaded is this actually, right? Which you don't need to worry about. And then you have your response here. Right? So this is your response in there, right? So which for now, you don't need to worry. So that is how this works, to be honest. So yeah. And okay, this is even telling you what's API. But that is that. Any question before we go ahead? So, but if you don't get it, that's fine. We're going to go into the practical section. Sometimes some is easier to when you get it. Any question? Okay, all right. So now let's go to how this is done, right? Let's close this one, right? So if you search for Postman, you will get this Postman, yeah, postman.com, right? So can you click on that? So that takes you to the Postman website, actually, right? So when we talk about Postman, it's not like the Postman that we normally see anyway. So that takes you to the Postman website. So, and so this is what we want to do. We want to download this particular application. So you can well, depending on the type of computer that you have, you click on the right one. So now I'm going to stop sharing so I can ask someone. I think Emmanuel said is going to help us. So if you want to share your screen, Emmanuel.
It's saying host disable
Apologies for that. So let's try that again. Can you try now, please?
Okay. There we go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to assume this is a window application. Let me know. Right. This is a window machine, right?
Yes.
That's good. Yeah. So for those guys, yeah. So this is a window machine. So, and if you're using Mac, you click on the, this logo anyway is the Apple one. So I think the one with the boards will be the Ubuntu one anyway. So let's click on the window logo. Yeah. Click that, please. So now you can now click on the Windows 64-bit. Okay, so I would want everyone to go through this, okay? But I think it's a lightweight application and it doesn't take long to install as well. So we can look at this together. Okay. Can you open it, please?
How do you get to the page to download it?
I just went to download on my top right and I was able to get it.
Okay, for those guys using Windows, I'm going to send a link to you directly. So, but I think you should just follow what is done. So that is a link for the Windows, so you can go there directly. Okay, cool. All right, that is fine. So as you can see, it's so easy to set up, actually. So easy. So once you are here, okay, can we quickly have a show of hands? So if you want to type 1, if you already kind of get everything installed, let's type 1, okay? 1, if you got everything installed, you got Postman already. Thank you, thank you. So let's type 1, okay? If you have not been able to do that, put 0. We are still waiting for some people. Okay. If you're having issues, can you type 0? Okay, but yeah. Okay, so if you got it already, just type 1. That's also is fine. Okay. So if you're having issues, just type 0 so we know what, so that we can be able to assist you. At least I'm looking for maybe 20 people because we have almost like 65 people now. So yeah. Thank you. The rest, what is happening? Are you just listening? Or interested? Even if you are here as one of the mentors, please just type 1 if you already got it, please. I just need to be sure that, yeah, I'm not talking, we are not actually talking to screen. Yeah, thank you. So if you're having issues, please type 0. So by the look of things, no one is having issues, right? Cool, thank you. So, okay, brilliant. Let's continue now. So, yeah. Okay, so now what you need to do, you can skip this particular level, right? Yeah, skip that and go on to the application. Okay, so now that this is Postman, okay? This is Postman now. So what I want you to do, put it on full screen. So on full screen, please. Yeah, thank you. So now, so quickly, just to explain what you have right now. So the first one is collection. Collection are just folders, right? So that is where you store different requests. You can collect them together into a folder. For instance, if you are working on different projects, let's say prep major, you want to work on prep major, you can put that in the collection, right? You want to also work on long reach way, you can put down a collections. So you arrange your request or your test based on collections. So, and also APIs also, I think that will not work because you might need to log in and do workspace actually. So the next one I will mention is the environment actually. Like, in most of the testings that you do, you might need to work on different environments as well. So you might need to work on, so for that, you might have a dev environment, QA environment. You can be switching with that on that one. So you create your environment in this particular space. And now when you have your at the top on your right, if you go to the top, you see no environment. Yeah, down a bit. Yeah. So if you have environment and you want to switch to that environment, you just click on that drop down to select the environment that you want actually. So that's one thing. So, but now we go with no environment because we don't want to create things complex. But let's try to make it tidy, right? So let's create a collection. Okay, you see where you have the collection, you see the plus, right? Click on that and create a new collection, right? So then we can rename this collection, let's say Google, right? Just say Google. So, we can try this with Google first and see if it works. Okay, so this is our Google collection. Now press enter. Okay, cool. So now the next thing that we need to do now is to create our first request, right? Our first request. So what you need to do now on that collection that you call Google, okay, put your mouse on it, on the left, the one on the left. Yeah, you see that ellipsis, the ellipsis that shows, yeah, click on that, not the star one, the next one. Yeah, click on that, you will see new request, add request. Yeah, so you click on add request, okay? So this will allow you to create a new request, okay? Let's say now what we want to do, we want to just search on Google, right? Just say search. Okay, so now, so we want to search for a particular thing. Let's say blue sky now. Do you get it now? So then what you need to do is you go back to Google for me, please. Google.com right now.
Where, sir?
Google.com on your browser, internet browser, or yeah, anything like that. Okay, so now, so open a new tab and maybe call it, yeah, open a new tab and.
Sorry.
Okay, then search for, yeah, google.com, just at the top, google.com. Okay, press enter. So now inside that now, right, you want to type, let's say Blue Sky Citadel. Okay, press enter. So this brings Blue Sky Citadel for you, right? But now we want to get the response and also the request that we sent out, actually. So what you now need to do, right click, right?
Where?
Right click anywhere. Inspect. Okay, now go to network, right? At the top of that. Yeah, network. This will show you every request that is being sent out, right? Every request. So now what I want you to do is, because you've already sent it before we open the network, we want to do the same thing again, right? So at the top, you see there is a red circle, right? So that one records your network. If you press it, it's not going to record it again, right? So, but of course, you want to be listening to what he's doing. That's his purpose. The next thing after that is the clear button, right? So let's say the log is too much, there are lots, you want to clear it, you can just clear it like that, actually. So let's clear what we have now so that it's fresh, right? Click on it. Yeah, now there's nothing. So now go to that Blue Sky that you search for and try to search it again, or just click on it and press enter. Okay, now you can see there is a lot of requests or resources being put out and everything. So sometimes it's difficult now to see which one am I going to do, what exactly is happening. But you can see the name of the resources and you can see the status of it, right? As we go along, we're going to know what the status is. There are different statuses that a request will give to you: 200, 404, 401, 400. There are different level of statuses, right? You have 100 series, you have 200 series, you have 300 series, you have 400 series, and you have 500 series. They have different reasons, and they mean different things as well. So you need to know that. Okay, maybe as we go along, we will talk about these statuses as well and what you're expecting. But today, one status that you need to know is 200. 200 means all good, success, fine, brilliant, whatever you want to call it, excellent. That is 200. When you send a request and you get everything back, no issues, 200 is what you are talking about. So one status that you know today now is 200. So now in this request now, we need to look at which resource am I looking for. So one way to do that, let's try to filter based on this request, right? So if you go to the top, down a bit, you see the fetch /XHR. Yeah, click on that, please. Yeah, thank you. I like how you are even putting the mouse so that people know what you're about to click, which is good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now you have this request. This is also not obvious, to be honest. So if you are going to be working with APIs, you might need to be talking to the developer to say, what is the endpoint? What the resources are we looking for? Sometimes you don't need to do this as I'm doing right now. I'll talk about other ways later, maybe next week when we meet. So sometimes they will just give you the request and they will give you the endpoint. You don't need to do this. But if they did not give you, there's other ways to do it. That's what I'm telling you. Right now, we don't work for Google, but we want to use our API. We don't know it, right? We can only assume that this is it and everything. So, but from what I can see now, I can see two search requests, right? And one of them has got Blue Sky, and I think the other one has got Blue Sky again. So if you scroll down now, if you go down, you see down a bit, down that one, yeah. Those two at the top, right? The first and the second one are search the resources, which will be what we are looking for, because we want to create an API that actually do that search for Blue Sky. So you click on the first one. Let's click on the first one. Yeah. So you can see on the first one, on the right hand, you can see header, right? It's got the request URL, right? You can see the request URL. That is what we are looking for. But right now, we leave that for now, right? Because it's got other details, right? Let's click on the second one now, the second one. So apparently, you can see that Google has got two requests that they are sending out at the same time. Each one of them has got different parameters, actually. So, and maybe when one is finished, another one starts, basically, or something like that. So, but let's say we even use the first one, actually. Maybe that might also, because this second one is saying complete. Maybe it's after one has completed, another one will send again. But this information, you might have to ask from the developers to say which one is the right one that we are using. How do we call this? Yeah. But right now we can just go with our idea to say, okay, this is it anyway. So let's look, go with the first one. Click on the first one, please. So now we are going to copy that request URL. Okay, can you copy that? Go there, right click, copy value. Now, let's go back to Postman now. So we are going to send that request out and to get something out. So before you go there, sorry, can you go back a bit? Can you go back again to the... Just quickly mention something as well that I did not actually talk about. After the request, you can see there's a request method. It's a get. Get is to get something. So basically, when you have a get, it's like a query, right? You are sending a query to get something out, like find me something, get me something, or every website that you go, that you put something and you press and you press something, it could literally mean there's a get there, actually. So it's a get, and the status code is 200. That's what you are, is 200. So those are the things that we want to verify now using our Postman. So let's go to Postman now. So now, you see where you have the search, you have the method, right? The get. Beside the get, can you click on that? You see the, before that one, there's a drop down. Yes, okay. Those are the methods you can click. Those are the methods that you can use. You have get, post, put. Yeah, post is for to send, to fill a form. If you want to fill a form and you want it to go and update or no, create a new file, actually create a new record in your system, you use a post. And put and patch actually is for updates. Actually, if you want to update a particular resources, or you want a particular record on your, you use the put and patch. Yeah, and delete is to delete that particular record. So those are the major common ones. I will rest for now anyway. So now for this one, we saw in that particular website that we are using, that is a get. So we select get, and then what we need to do now is say, you can see enter request URL. So on your right after the so you can paste what you copied, right? Okay, and from there now you can see what happens, because there are a lot of parameters that is in that particular URL. It's kind of split it out, right? You can see you got XLF, blah blah blah, everything, but the one that is particular to us is what we need actually, which is what the PQ one, right? Because that is what we know we sent out, right? But it actually helps us to kind of split down everything. So we leave it right now, then we'll click on send and we'll see what's going to happen. So now it's sending everything out. As you can see now, this is it. Status 200. That means it's successful, right? So, and then the response now is the body at the bottom, right? You can see your response at the bottom, right? On your right, on your left down. If you go down, where's your mouse? Where's your mouse? Yeah, that bit, exactly. You can see it's bringing out even, addresses. This is what is displayed. But what you're seeing will not be the same way it's been displayed on the screen on google.com. But these are the data that is being used actually, right? So you can see it also brought the YouTube and everything. And so technically that is it. So if you go, there are different level of presentations that you can see how this particular JSON is presented. Right now we are on PT version, which is what most people will use actually. So if you go to the next one, you see raw. You can also see it in raw version, right? Can you click on raw after the pretty, right? So so you can click on that. So that is the raw version, right? And maybe sometime you can look at it, okay, even this raw is even better because you can see everything at a go. But the pretty one is good because you see them in JSON format, actually. So then let's click on the preview one as well. So this is the preview one. It's not different from the raw. Let's click on visualization, right? So nothing is there because this is not displaying HTML. It only displays on the JSON anyway. So you go back to the pretty one, right? So so now in the pretty one, you can see you have Blue Sky Citadel actually. So you know what we search for is Blue Sky Citadel, one word. But in the result, you have Blue Sky space Citadel basically, which is the result of what we are presenting, right? Which means that it's good. So now you have what you want, right? If you change on the PQ that you have, right, it's possible. Can we go back there, that PQ, click on it and try to change it? No, click on it, then click on the Blue Sky on the right and try to change it to a different thing. And then click on send. Okay, so this is, okay, this is weird, right? It's still bringing, let's go down, let's see why it's actually bringing Blue Sky with Prep Major. Why is that? Okay, that makes sense because it's also linking Prep Major with Blue Sky, isn't it? Because this is not bringing, so basically that's what it's trying to do. So let's search for BBC actually, because with BBC, there's no relationship anyway. We will see BBC anyway, right? Okay, as you can see now, it's bringing BBC, iPlayer, blah, blah, like that. Yeah, you can see. So this is what you do, right? You can see the response and everything. So when you are doing that, you validate a lot of things, right? So by art now, you look at it and say, yeah, BBC Live, everything, they are putting everything there. Can you see that? Which is really, really good. Everything that related to BBC, you will see it on this one. So now, right now, you are not testing the application. You are only testing the APIs that provides the information that is displayed on the screen, right? So these are data that developer will not take and they will not put it in a vector format and display it on google.com, right, in the HTML and everything. But this is the raw data that they will use to present to what you need. So that is what I said, that when this guy goes into the kitchen to order food from the chef will give it, the waiter the food, and the waiter might have to dress the food and making sure it's nice when they present to you, depending on how you make your request. Do you get it now? Depending on how you make your request, the request will come and then they will display it. Do you get it now? So now this is what you will see at the back anyway. So now what do you do now? You want to test, right? There are different ways to now test APIs now. What we've done now is another way of testing manually. We have not done anything. We look at it. Yeah, it's displaying BBC. It's not displaying Prep Major or yeah. So right now, and you can see now it's even displaying ITV, right? Why is that? Can someone help me? Why is it displaying ITV? Do we know why it's displaying ITV when we ask from BBC?
Yeah, it's part, ITV is part of BBC.
I don't think so. Is it?
ITV subset.
Is relates to something similar.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word. They read something similar. They're all television station, right? So that's where if you search for BBC, you would also get ITV, because they know that you are searching for TV station. Do you get it now? So after they brought all the BBC, and ITV will be there as well. Do you get it now? So that's the reason. So this is we now selecting that we are not getting anything that's, you can see Sky Sport also is there because it's kind of similar or related. So that's what we are talking about in there right now. So by this, we are doing manual testing of the APIs, looking at it. Okay, is it bringing something that related? Is it off point? Or let's say now, if you now see Facebook, you now thought, oh, what Facebook and BBC? Do you get it now? Or yeah. So, and now it's bringing Blue Sky. Why do you think it's bringing Blue Sky?
Because we searched it before, so it's showing on.
Thank you so much, because you already cached that as well. So this is another thing. It's already cached that Blue Sky. So it's already, in case next time you want to search Blue Sky, maybe you won't even go to the server again because you already cached that. And so that's the reason now. So you can see with that, we have different test cases to say, okay, oh, it will bring related one. It will also bring the one that I have searched. Then you look at your result and you find out, okay, it's good, everything's fine. Then you pass it. That is one. Of course, you look at the request. Now, maybe you want to do negative testing, right? So if you go back to the URL that you pasted, right? And instead of search, let's put search 123 in the middle, right? You see where you have search question mark, right? You can say search 123, just to see if you can break it, right? Because we know search 123 is not part of what is expecting. Okay, like, okay, that's fine. So that is okay. Then click on send. And in this one, I'm not expecting 200. Can you see? So it's not saying 400 bad request. Of course, it is bad request because this one is expecting Q, right? But it's actually getting 123 Q. It's a bad request. That is a negative testing. And then what you see in the title in there, right? In the result, it said error 400 bad request. Even the at the bottom as well in the pretty version, right? So so that is the response. Now, what have we done? We've done the request. What's our request? Is those URL at the top, right? That is the request that we sent with the parameters that we've put inside. And now, what is our status? Our status at this particular time is 400 bad requests. Then what is our response? What did we get? Is those value in the pretty version? Those are the response. So that is where we're going to stop now. So you can give that a try and put different things and see if that works for you in different areas. So, and when we come back again, we're going to talk about how to do manual testing, even still using Postman with a bit of automation, not core automation now, because even within Postman, you can write a few codes, right? Because for you, maybe as a teaser, actually, for next time that we meet, so you see there's a test section at the top. You see where you have param, authorization, header, body, pre-request at the top. Can you go there? Yeah, down a bit. So that bit, you see there's a test after pre-request script. Then there's a test. So here you can click on that quickly, maybe with you 2 minutes. So now I can write my test here as well to say validate the status code, right? So no, that's not how to do that. So
Sorry.
can you remove that? Yeah. So on the right hand side, you see there's some snippets in there. On the right hand side, yeah. If you scroll down, there will be one of them that will say status code or validate status code or something like that. If you scroll down a bit, step by step, yeah, that one, yeah. So you click on that. That will give you something like a PM, yeah, exactly like that. So then PM test, blah, blah. So that will give you that. So if you click on run now, can you click on send? Yeah. So you will see this will fail, right? And you can see the test now at the bottom, right? So where you have body, cookies, header, and test results. Can you see? Can you click on that, please? Yeah, click on that, yeah. You can see it's saying that, yeah, it failed because expected response to have status of 200, but got 400. But now let's fix what you broke, okay? Go back to that search queue, remove that 1, 2, 3, and then run, send it again. So exactly 200 pass, right? If you do that one again, let's say do it again, put 1, 2, 3 again where you put it before. Let's say we are actually doing yeah, okay, let's try that. That's fine. So for this one, let's run it. Okay, for this one now is 404. It's different from 400 that we got, right? We're going to know why, because this one is saying I cannot find search 1, 2, 3. Right? It's different from saying that Q123 is a bad request. So what's the difference, right? Search is your resources, right? But you are not saying the resources should be called search 1, 2, 3. I cannot find it. It's not found. But it's expecting to find it, right? But the other one that you have, you did it before, was 1, 2, 3 Q, which is like, can you search this particular thing for me? So, and you put a query, which is wrong query, right? Because it's saying 1, 2, 3 is equal to that. No, it's wrong, right? So that is why it gave you that 400 bad request. So as you get more on this, but now let's say this is what we are expecting, because that search 23 should not be found, right? And we got 404. So what we need to do now, we need to update our text. In line 2, you put 404 there instead of 200. And you now click on send. Can you see? So yeah, but I think so. It actually passed, but maybe this is even okay. But the thing on line 1, you can see your line 1, the title say status code is, yeah, you need to change that so that your response that you get at the bottom would kind of make sense anyway. Yeah. Okay, then you send it. So then everything's good. So yeah. So okay. Any question before we go? This is where we're going to stop now. Hopefully this is kind of, yeah, makes sense for a quick introduction because to be honest, this is kind of end-to-end now, actually, in terms of Postman. So we're going to expand on that next time. Then after that, we talk about how do you start from what you know to what you don't know. On what you know in terms of manual testing with APIs, now to move into automation API. We're going to start from here. There's a way to do it gradually when you copy your code from here and you paste it into your automation and everything should just work. So that's what we're going to do going forward. Any question, please? Any question? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask Deji, You
Yeah.
said that that we can do automation. We can do automation using like C# and Java. So then, what is then like REST and REST assured?
Okay.
When you talk about API.
So what you said now is the same thing actually, right? So if you are using REST assured, right, you are using Java. If you are using REST #, you are using C#. The same question is what you said is like, what is Specflow? What is Cucumber? But I'm using Java and C#. That is the same way. API for Java is using REST assured. For C# using REST #, C#. Okay.
Okay,
like
that's explained. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
So do
No
we have to download some sort of, or do we still use our Visual Studio
Okay,
to like for the REST #?
Yeah, well, you need a Nugget package actually. Well, we're going to, once you have your Visual Studio, that's fine. So you just need to add a Nugget package. We're going to start with without REST #. We use HTML or HTTP client for a start without having to complicate REST or REST assured. But anyway, but we start gradually step by step so that you get the easy one, then you move from that easy one to advance quickly like that. So, but the first thing, get this one, right? Get the concept, then we'll move from that gradually. Yeah. Okay, Olusegun.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. A quick one. Since we've just gone through the manual testing on the Postman, beside the use of Visual Studio or IntelliJ for both C# and Java, is it possible to carry out automation on Postman being a platform itself?
Yeah, it's possible. That's what I just done right now, right? This one now is kind of automation, right?
Okay.
This one, we're going to expand on this anyway. You can do most of the things that you want to do. Like this one now, this is basically automation, right? You're automating it, even though it's manual. But having said that, if you log into Postman right now, I think they've also got some licenses that you can even run this code like a CI/CD pipelines as well. They are getting better as you go along. You get it. Now, initially, it was majorly for manual testing, but later they brought this test so that you can write your JavaScript test like that one and put it so that you can test your API test within Postman. But right now, I think now, if you go with on the right-hand side where you have the APIs as well as the mock servers and monitor, you can also run your tests, right? But that one, you need a license actually. So, but most people will just kind of create their code, because why do you have to pay when REST or REST assured is free? Do you get it now? Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good night. Yeah. Thanks so much, Emmanuel, for being my assistant today.
All right,
Thank you.
that's the least I can do. Thank you.
No,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
DG.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day once more.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a safe journey.